Hello everyone, welcome to English classes by Sonia Dhawan. Today we are going to begin the very first chapter of the book Hornbill, that is The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. So here the chapter name is written The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. In this chapter, Khushwant Singh is the narrator and he has described about his grandmother. Before I begin with the chapter, I would like to tell you something about the author. Khushwant Singh was born on 2nd February 1915 and he died in March 2014. He was an Indian author, lawyer, diplomat, journalist and politician. His experience in the 1947 partition of India inspired him to write Train to Pakistan in 1956, which was later on made into a film and which became his most well-known novel also. So children, what is the theme of the chapter? As usually I tell always before I begin with the chapter, I am going to tell you the theme of this chapter also. In this chapter, the theme of innocence, friendship, love, connection, kindness, selflessness, respect and acceptance is reflected. It is also noticeable that the narrator loves his grandmother very much, and if anything, both have a close and loving friendship. And this chapter also highlights the change in relationship with the passage of time. Why it is mentioned here? Because when the narrator was a young child, he used to live constantly with his grandmother in a village, but when they moved to the city, so there was separation between them. The narrator has his separate room and the grandmother, they had less time to talk with, and the school of narrator also in the village, the grandmother used to go to drop the grandson to his school, but when they went to city, so this opportunity was not there with the grandmother now, because the narrator used to go to school by motor bus. So it highlights the change in relationship with the passage of time. It also shows the need of companionship and friendship felt by the elders. When the people, the old people, the old age people, the elderly people, they always feel that they are isolated. But this should not happen. They need companionship and friendship when they grow old also. So these are the themes I have told, and innocence, friendship, love, connection, kindness. How we see the kindness in this? Because the grandmother, she is in the habit of taking the stale chapatis every day for the street dogs. Selflessness, without any personal interest, she loves her grandson very much. Respect, the respect of the grandson towards his grandmother. Acceptance, grandmother is always seen calm, she is a spiritual lady and she is religious, and whatever things happens, whether she lives in the same room with her grandson or not, she is always calm, she is seen contented. So this is the acceptance. Whatever the circumstances are, the grandmother always accepts those circumstances. Now these are the themes I have told. Let us move to the chapter. So this is the chapter, The Portrait of a Lady, and I will explain you line by line. The complete whole chapter is in first person. It is narrated in the first person. My grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. So we all know that grandmothers are old. In the same way, the narrator is saying his grandmother was also old. She had been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that I had known her. So since the time that the narrator knew his grandmother, The time shown here is 20 years. So he is saying, since the time he is saying his grandmother, she is very old and wrinkled. People said that she had once been young and pretty and had even had a husband, but that was hard to believe. Narrator is saying this concept is hard to believe, that people used to say that his grandmother was once young and pretty. This is the natural phenomena. All the girls, they are pretty at one sort of time, at one point of time in life. Similarly, his grandmother was also young and pretty, but this is very hard to believe for the narrator, because since that time he has been seeing his grandmother, she is very old and wrinkled, extremely old. My grandfather's portrait hung above the mantelpiece in the drawing room. Now he is telling us about the portrait of his grandmother, which used to hang above the mantelpiece. Mantelpiece is a shelf in the drawing room. Now here he gives us the description of grandfather, how he looks in the photograph or portrait. His grandfather, he wore a big turban and loose fitting clothes. His long white beard covered the best part of his chest, and he looked at least 100 years old. So this is the description of grandfather, that he also looks in the portrait as if he is 100 years old. He did not look the sort of person who would have a wife or children. The narrator is saying that the picture of the grandfather is so old, he looks so old, that nobody can say that he can have a wife or children. It seems only he can have is lots of grandchildren. He looked as if he could only have lots and lots of grandchildren. As for my grandmother, being young and pretty, the thought was almost revolting. Or the thought was almost revolting means the narrator could not believe. It was very hard for him to believe that his grandmother was once young and pretty. Also because since the time narrator has been seeing his grandmother, she is very old and she is wrinkled. Wrinkles are all over there on her face. She often told us of the games she used to play as a child. That seemed quite absurd. Absurd means ridiculous and undignified on her part, and we treated it like the fables of the prophets she used to tell us. Narrator is saying that his grandmother used to tell him about the games she used to play during her childhood, and that also narrator is saying we used to just hear, but we used to treat them like fables. Fables are the fairy tales. जैसे कहानियाँ सुनाते हैं ना जो रियल नहीं होती, like the fables of the prophets he used to tell us. It means the narrator did not believe on the things which grandmother used to tell, because the narrator thinks that she has always been very old. She had always been short and fat and slightly bent. Short, fat and slightly bent. This is the description of narrator's grandmother. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles. Crisscross पता ना ऐसे ऐसे crisscross of wrinkles. This shows that she was very old, running from everywhere to everywhere. This line also tells us that her face was filled with wrinkles, and it shows us the extreme old age of the grandmother. No, we were certain. No here refers to that the author is not ready to believe that she was once young and pretty. So here he says, no, I can't believe that she was once pretty or beautiful. We were certain she had always been as we had known her. Old, so terribly old that she could not have grown older and had stayed at the same age for 20 years. So this line shows that the grandmother was extremely old, and the narrator is trying to tell us that she was so old that now there was no chance that she can get older. she could never have been pretty, but she was always beautiful. So narrator is saying she can never be pretty, but yes, of course she is beautiful, beautiful by heart. Her nature is beautiful, her habits are beautiful. She hobbled about the house. Hobbled means when somebody walks with difficulty, and you all know that the old age people, they find it difficult to walk properly. About the house in spotless white. It means she used to wear white attire. With one hand, attire means clothes, with one hand resting on her waist to balance her stoop. Stoop means bent, and the other telling the beads of her rosary. You must have heard or seen about a rosary, जो माला होती है ना, जिसको पकड़ के जाप करते हैं जो ओल्ड एज पीपल होते हैं. सो दिस इज दैट. Her silver locks here refers to the grey hair. Her silver locks were scattered untidily over her pale, puckered face. Puckered again means wrinkled face. And her lips constantly moved in inaudible prayer. And the lips of the grandmother, they moved in inaudible prayer. It means she used to murmur her prayers and other people could not hear. Yes, she was beautiful. Why narrator is saying this? Because she was a spiritual and religious lady, and she used to take care of her grandson. So she was beautiful, but she was never pretty. She was like the winter landscape in the mountains, an expanse of pure white serenity, breathing peace and contentment. So this line means that the grandmother was calm, and the white clothes worn by her always reflected peace. She was like the winter landscape in the mountains. You must have seen landscape in the mountain. क्या होता है वहाँ पे? All around ice is there, snow is there, and there is peace. An expanse of pure white serenity. It refers to the spotless white clothes that the grandmother used to wear, and she used to breathe peace and contentment. It means grandmother had no greed of anything, and she was calm. My grandmother and I were good friends. So they both were good friends, grandson and grandmother. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city, and we were constantly together. So we here refers to grandmother and grandson. They were constantly together for many years. She used to wake me up in the morning. Now the narrator is going to tell us about the everyday tasks conducted by the grandmother. She used to wake me up in the morning, this is the first thing, and get me ready for school. She said her morning prayer in a monotonous sing-song while she bathed and dressed me, in the hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. It here refers to the prayers which the grandmother used to recite every day. Monotonous means in a very boring or routine way, routine manner. While she bathed and dressed me in the hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. I listened because I loved her voice, but never bothered to learn it. So this is what the narrator is trying to tell us, that he is thinking that grandmother wanted him to learn all these, but the narrator is saying, I have never learned, but I listened to it. Because why did he listen? Because he loved the voice of his grandmother. Then she would fetch my wooden slate, which she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk, a tiny earthen ink pot, and a red pen, and tie them all in a bundle and hand it to me. Children, these were the things when the children used to go to school earlier. Then they used to carry all these things, and all these things were packed in a bundle by grandmother, and she used to tie them all in a bundle and hand it over to her grandson. After a breakfast of a thick stale chapati, and the breakfast consisted of a thick stale chapati with a little butter and sugar spread on it, and we went to school. Again here V refers to grandmother and grandson. They both together went to school. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dog also. Village dogs. I told you in the beginning in the theme that the theme of kindness is also reflected. So this shows us she was kind towards the animals also. My grandmother always went to school with me. So this was the everyday task. Because why she used to go? Now the narrator is telling us because the school was attached to the temple. So because the school was attached to the temple, that is why grandmother always went to school with her grandson. This shows us that she is spiritual and religious lady. The priest taught us the alphabet and the morning prayer, while the children sat in rows on either side of the veranda, singing the alphabet or the prayer in a chorus. Chorus, you know, when the children sing, a group of singers, they sing in a group. My grandmother sat inside. Grandmother used to sit inside reading the scriptures. Scriptures are the holy books. When we had both finished, we would walk back together. And when the narrator finished his studies and grandmother finished her scriptures, after all this was finished, they moved back towards their home. This time, the village dogs would meet us at the temple door. They followed us to our home, growling and fighting. Growling refers to the sound, noise of the dogs, and fighting for what? Because they wanted the stale chapatis from grandmother. They followed us, they here refers to the street dogs, to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. It means when the parents were settled there in the city, they called grandmother and grandson to the city. Now they had to leave the village, and that was the turning point in our friendship. This was the turning point in their friendship, because now several changes will take place in the life of city. Although we shared the same room was same, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. So this is the first change. In the village, grandmother used to go to drop the grandson to school, but in city, she no longer came to school with him. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. So this was the mode by which the narrator used to go to school. There were no dogs. Second change, no dogs in the streets, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our city house, because dogs were not there, and grandmother then what she did? She started feeding the sparrows in the courtyard. As the years rolled by, we saw less of each other. जैसे जैसे टाइम बीतता गया, they used to meet less. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get me ready for school. When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. So when the narrator used to come back from the school in the city, the grandmother used to ask him what the teacher had taught him. I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning, the law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, the world being round, etc. All these things were taught in the English school in city. And all this made her unhappy. Why unhappy? Because she was a spiritual and religious lady, and she was upset to know that no study of religion is taught or scriptures is taught in the school which is in city. She could not help me with my lessons because subjects were different. She did not believe in the things they taught us at the English school and was distressed. Distressed means she was disappointed to know all that what all subjects were taught in the school in the city, that there was no teaching about God and scriptures. That is why she was disappointed. I told you. One day I announced that we were being given music lessons. So what happened? One day the narrator told that they were being given music lessons in school. She was very disturbed to know this, that why music lessons are given in school. Because to her music had lewd associations. Lewd means rude, bad. It was the monopoly of harlots and beggars. Harlots are uncivilized people, or we can say prostitutes, and beggars, and it was not meant for gentle folk, the civilized people. So music was not a good thing for the civilized people, gentle folk. She said nothing, but her silence meant disapproval. As I told you in the beginning, the theme reflects acceptance also. So she didn't say anything, but her silence meant disapproval. She rarely talked to me after that. When I went up to university, now this is the another point. When I went up to university, I was given a room of my own. Here, earlier, after coming from village also, they both shared the same room. But now when he went up to university, the room was also separated. Grandmother in a separate room and grandson in a separate room. The common link of friendship was snapped. Snapped means broken. वो जो लिंक था फ्रेंडशिप का वो क्यों ब्रेक हो गया था? बिकॉज नाउ द रूम्स वर डिवाइडेड. They had different rooms. My grandmother accepted her seclusion with resignation. Seclusion means isolation, alag hona. She rarely left her spinning wheel to talk to anyone. Now what was the other task that the grandmother had started? That was from sunrise to sunset, she sat by her wheel, spinning and reciting prayers. Why she did so? Because she didn't want to talk to anybody now. Only in the afternoon she relaxed for a while to feed the sparrows. While she sat in the veranda, breaking the bread into little bits, hundreds of little birds collected round her, creating a veritable bedlam of chirpings. It means the noise, the chaos created by the sound of the chirpings. This is the sound of the birds. Some came and perched on her legs, others on her shoulders. Some even sat on her head. She smiled but never shooed them away. कभी भी उनको भगाती नहीं थी. Never shoot them away. It used to be the happiest half an hour of the day for her. So if the question comes, what was the happiest hour of the day for the grandmother, then you have to write this answer: the half an hour when she used to feed the sparrows in the veranda. When I decided to go abroad for further studies, I was sure my grandmother would be upset. So next, the grandson, he thought of going abroad for his further studies. So he was sure that grandmother would be upset because of the separation. I would be away for 5 years. This was the reason. And he knew that the grandmother will be upset if he will go for 5 years. And at her age, one could never tell. This means already the grandmother was extremely old. So nobody can tell when she can pass away. So this is what the narrator is saying, that if he will go for 5 years continuously, he never know whether when he will return, whether he will be able to meet his grandmother the same way or not. But my grandmother could. She was not even sentimental. she came to leave me at the railway station. The grandmother, she accepted this also, and she had control over her emotions. She went to the railway station to drop her grandson, but she did not talk or show any emotion. Her lips moved in prayer. Her mind was lost in prayer. Her fingers were busy telling the beads of her rosary. Silently she kissed my forehead, and when I left, I cherished the moist imprint as perhaps the last sign of physical contact between us. The moist imprint, which was not clear, maybe the narrator is thinking that this is the last meeting. This is his last meeting with his grandmother, because he was going for 5 years, and he had this doubt in his mind that when he will return after 5 years, may or may not he could meet his grandmother. But that was not so. After 5 years I came back home. So 5 years passed and he came back home and was met by her at the station. So when he came back, then also grandmother went to the station to pick him up. She did not look a day older. So the situation, the condition of grandmother was same. She still had no time for words, and while she clasped me in her arms, I could hear her reciting her prayers. She was not talking to anybody, she was just reciting her prayers. Even on the first day of my arrival, her happiest moments were with her sparrows. Even on the day when the grandson had arrived after 5 years, then also her happiest moment was with her sparrows, whom she fed longer with frivolous rebukes. Frivolous rebukes means criticizing and scolding lovingly. In the evening, a change came over her. So on the day of arrival also she fed the sparrows, and what happened in the evening? A change came over her. What was the change? She did not pray. उस दिन पहली बार शायद ऐसा हुआ होगा कि ग्रैंडमदर ने प्रे नहीं किया था. She collected the women of the neighborhood, got an old drum and started to sing because she was happy. Why she was happy? Because her grandson had come after 5 years. So what she did? She collected the women of the neighborhood and she started singing. For several hours she thumped the sagging skins of the dilapidated drum and sang of the homecoming of the warriors. Dilapidated means old and worn out drum, and she was singing the homecoming of the warriors. That was the song. We had to persuade her to stop. Persuade means request her to stop, to avoid overstraining. That was the first time since I had known her that she did not pray. So this was the first time, first day when she did not pray. The next morning she was taken ill. So next morning what happened? She was not ill. It was a mild fever, and the doctor told us that it would go. But my grandmother thought differently. The doctor was saying that it is a mild fever and it would go. But grandmother thought differently. She told us that her end was near. She knew that it was her last day. She said that since only a few hours before the close of the last chapter of her life, she had omitted to pray. Omitted means छोड़ा था उन्होंने pray करना. उस दिन पहली बार ऐसा हुआ था. It was the first time that she did not pray. So now what she was saying, she said that before the close of the last chapter of her life, she had omitted to pray. So she was not going to waste any more time talking to us. So she would not waste her time, and now what she would do? She would start praying again as usual. We protested. All the family members, they protested. They were saying no, no, but she ignored our protests. She lay peacefully in bed, praying and telling her beads. Even before we could suspect, her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. It means that the grandmother died. Her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. Lifeless means she was dead now. There was no life in her. A peaceful pallor spread on her face. Pallor here shows the pale face, pale color. And we knew that she was dead. We lifted her off the bed and, as is customary, laid her on the ground. That we all know, if anybody dies, then that person, that dead body is lifted from the bed and it is taken on the, it is laid on the ground and covered her with a red shroud. Shroud is a red cloth. After a few hours of mourning, mourning means sorrow, grief, we left her alone to make arrangements. Why the grandmother's dead body was left alone? Because the family members, they had to make arrangements for her funeral. In the evening, we went to her room with a crude stretcher to take her to be cremated. This is the last funeral ceremony. The sun was setting and had lit her room and veranda with a blaze of golden light. Because it was evening time and the sun was setting, so golden light was there which lit her room. We stopped halfway in the courtyard, all over the veranda and in her room, right up to where she lay dead and stiff wrapped in the red shroud. Thousands of sparrows sat scattered on the floor. So what they noticed, they saw that thousands of sparrows were there. They sat scattered on the floor. There was no chirping. It means the sparrows also realized that something bad has happened. They knew that the grandmother who used to feed them every day in the courtyard, she was no more. We felt sorry for the birds and my mother fetched some bread for them. Mother got some bread. She broke it into little crumbs the way my grandmother used to and threw it to them. So the mother of narrator, she brought some bread and she broke it into little crumbs like the grandmother used to do and threw it to the sparrows. But the sparrows took no notice of the bread. When we carried my grandmother's corpse means dead body, off, they flew away quietly. All the sparrows, they also flew away quietly. Next morning, the sweeper swept the breadcrumbs into the dustbin. The sparrows also realized that the grandmother was no more and they did not eat the breadcrumbs. This is the way how the sparrows paid tribute or gratitude to grandmother. So the chapter is over. Thank you everybody, and we will do the question answers later on.